I could have like a 7,000 horsepower car, but guess what? If one of those bolts is screwed up and I'm here, boom, 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 you're just gonna be like bouncing the whole way. Your tire's gonna fly off, you're gonna swerve into the road, you're gonna hit something, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Perfect.
Look, there's a reason that you feel like you're not going fast enough when it comes to your combos. The honest truth is, it's because you're not going slow enough. A lot of the times when people first start doing something, they go really fast. I feel like everybody likes to use the analogy of cars. But anyway, while you're building a car, forget about the fact that the car goes fast because you have a big engine. Think about the fact that the car goes fast because it allows you to go fast, because the small details like the nuts and bolts are screwed in all the way to let you go fast. I could have like a 7,000 horsepower car, but guess what? If one of those bolts is screwed up, boom, boom, you're just gonna be like bouncing the whole way. Your tire's gonna fly off, you're gonna swerve into the road, you're gonna hit something, you're gonna hurt yourself. Boxing is no different. Kickboxing is no different. So when you're going over your combos, what I recommend is a simple trick that I started using for beginners like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm sure somebody else has talked about it. I'm sure it's not unique to me. Like, I didn't see it from somewhere else, but it was probably created by somebody else. I'm throwing a 1, 2, 3. Okay? I like to think about it this way. The first movement is the 1, obviously. So I rep it out over and over. Then I start to think about, at the end of my 1, starting my 2. And what I'm doing is I'm training myself to set up this 1 and fire off the 2 from the end of my 1. I want to have both arms moving at the same time and eliminate the time in between. And also set up for my next punch. So if I go like this, guess what? All that time for me to pull my hand back and then throw the other one is wasted time. And what you'll find is that a lot of the different variables that are the bolts of the situation, like the timing and the balance especially, what I'll see a lot of people do is they come in like this, boom. Then by the time they want to throw the 3, they have to go like this. Or the 2, sorry, they go like this. Sit down, turn, punch. All because when they threw this jab at the end of it, they didn't see how messed up they were. So slow it down. Boom, 1, hold it. 2, hold it. Now I know that I'm set up and I'm ready to throw a good 3, bang! And you don't always have to do all 3 of them at the same time. I don't have to go sit down on the 1, have it stop at the end of its punch. Okay, think, is everything good? I could have my foot be a little bit further forwards. Boom, sit down on the 2. I'm a little wide right now. Let's see if I can bring this 2 a little bit closer so I can throw the 3 a little bit easier. It doesn't always have to be all 3 of these movements. You can literally break it down into a movement and then rep it out 10 times. End of my jab. Boom, start of my 2. End of my jab. Boom, end of my 2. Now I've got to think about what comes after my 2, this 3. Am I loaded up and ready for this 3? Am I out of range? Am I too close? Am I way out of the way? My 2's too long? Or maybe even overextending to force me to turn a little bit deeper. And then you can also start to think, okay, well, what if I miss my jab? Am I capable of getting in this bad spot here and turning it back into a connecting shot? Like, what if he slips the first one? So there's different variables, different nuts and bolts, different little micro pieces that you can change and adjust before you have to change and adjust them on the streets or wherever you're fighting. And then just like with every other technique I tell you to throw, I want you to work backwards. So think about, okay, yeah, this feels like a really comfortable position. This feels like a strong 3 that I just threw. How did I get here? Okay, well, I started off right here. So in order to start off right here, that means that I have to finish my 2 right here. So let's work backwards. So I started my 3 off right here. This is what feels like a strong 3. I want to end up with my 2 being done in a position where my legs are in the same spot. Does that mean I have to have my 2 be a little bit shorter? Okay, well if I want my 2 to be shorter, but I want to start from a distance, does that mean that my 1 has to cover more distance? So now I want my 1 to cover the distance. I don't want to put much behind my 2. I want to put a lot behind my 3. Or maybe I want a lot to be my 1, 2, my 3 to just be putting somebody off balance. And just be a long hook. Like, there's different things that you can think about when going into your combinations that can be specified to you or specified to just getting rid of mistakes. I can feel the thing on the top of my head right here. A little baby bird. I don't know if it's still there or not. That time I was a little bit too far back. So maybe that means that I need to throw my 3 either at a different time, delay a little bit, or sit down my haunches, put my butt back a little bit more so I'm not leaning like this. But anyway, you guys get the idea. Break it down a little bit further, a little bit quicker, so those punches look a little bit crisper when you throw them full speed. Because if you drive that car at full speed, if one of the bolts is missing, you're gonna mess yourself up. I was supposed to hit the bag that time. Anyway, guys, if you like this quick little video on how to tighten up those combinations, make sure you like it, make sure you leave a comment. I think this is working. Make sure you check out my suggested, hit the From Sensei Seth. It should give you a whole bunch of ideas. If it doesn't, comment it, let me know, I wanna know. Anyway, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you don't, I will kick you with my hands. With the combo, it looks so clean, it looks like I threw one punch total.